noting that the wind is hitting this side of the lid. Like when the wind comes in from this direction, it catches on the lid and then creates like a vortex. Like the wind comes down and blasts up. So then it's like, oh my god, the smoke. Ugh. So it's putting a crap ton of fuel in the fucking fire. Jeez. Language. So it's putting a bunch of air, like it circulates it because of this, the way this is sitting here. The air comes in the one side and then it swishes through to the other side, kind of like a Dakota fire hole. Another thing I noticed is that I didn't start a fire on the outside, but it's going through a pyrolysis reaction. So that's kind of cool. That's what I think the smoke is. At least the gas is venting off, which is part of the the water. So that's part of the pyrolysis. Even though this is nerve-wracking because I've yet to take down all this foliage that's within. I need 100 feet fire breaks. But then over here on the second barrel, I thought this was gonna be easier. Oh, it looks like we got a fire to start finally. But I got 2 charged retorts, my small one here, and then the experimental one that's charged up full of whatever. So I think from these 2 burns, I should be able to yield about 20 pounds of charcoal. Though this stuff over here, I'm sure is gonna be a little bit more ashy. But as long as I keep layering wood on top of it, and I can see the gas is burning and not so much flames directly on the wood, then I should be able to smother each layer of wood beneath it to then give me charcoal underneath it. Though, like I said, it'll have a slightly higher ash content, but I'll be able to grind and sort that myself later. So far, so good though. The only thing that makes me nervous too are these trees because the leaves are still on them and they're dry, but the wind doesn't seem to be pushing that direction yet, and I think this is enough distance. Let's just walk it. So from the barrel, it's going to burn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17, roughly, let's say 25 feet. Plus then we have air. We have the height. So as the heat rises, osmosis will happen, hopefully siphoning the heat from the gases that are floating through the air and reduce their ability to catch flame. Also, the snow just melted and it's still really muddy on the ground. So I have a lot of sawdust over here from previously harvesting wood that I should be able to, because this is plump full of moisture. So if anything were to get out of hand with the barrels, I could just squelch the fires. So pretty based. Glad I decided to do this because I was getting really nervous, but now I feel a lot better because realistically, not a lot's going to happen as long as I keep the fires around this level. Don't just overload the barrels and they can go nuts. Plus I have the lid here. I can just throw on top and just immediately shut the fire down. We have a heat risk, but the ground is so wet that the heat would not travel far enough to combust the soil or whatever, the foliage, because it is muddy as heck out here. Yeah. So like I don't know if you can see that from the flame, but those are the gases igniting, not the wood as much. So the pyrolysis, oh, it's happening, the lid. See how it's like pushing in the one side and it's flaring up the other? It's kind of really cool. That's really cool. Cool way to like inject more oxygen into a fire without having to drill holes in the side, because, ooh, that's also good to note here too. You can see the barrel is finally heating up from the inner barrel. Oh wow, we have volatile gases igniting on the outside too. Awesome. So that's really cool. It's like a reverse retort, because my original design system was inner barrels charge and then light a secondary fire on the outside, or primary fire on the outside, but then pyrolysis in the middle. But this one's actually kind of opposite. It's actually literally opposite, sorry. This is really cool. Like my main charged fire, the primary fire box is in the center, which is also like containing the heat better too, because you have that air barrier. Plus it has to transfer to the outer barrel, and as we can see here, the heat hasn't even reached the ground yet to start potentially drying out the foliage surrounding this area and causing the plants to char, which is slight fire risk too, which is good because I have all that stuff too, so I can sprinkle it around. Though like wet sand would be a lot better because that wouldn't be able to combust. Right. So yeah, I'm worried about like this being not very good, but who gives a shit? These are just notes. This is awesome. Like research notes, video research notes. So yeah, wind in this one too is it's swirling around on the barrel, but it's swirling around, so it looks like a lot of the smoke's coming out one half, but it is also kind of forming an oxygen barrier here too, because we have the CO2 and other volatiles coming off that would block oxygen from getting inside. But air is penetrating, as you can see. So this is where like previous other people's designs would have holes on the outside of the barrel to allow air to freely move in the primary fire on the outside. It's just I'm kind of really liking this little experiment because I would prefer the flame be kept internally if I can get a pyrolysis reaction with the outer layer instead of simply the inner layer, because what I said before, we would have a lot more containment on the heat instead of it just like, imagine holes on the outside of this barrel and there's flames shooting out the sides. I feel like that'd be a lot more. So it collapsed because I filled the bottom with wood, and now that it's carbonizing and maybe combusting a bit, it is collapsing under the weight. So I would be able to now take my lid almost there, once that collapses a little bit more, take my lid here and put it over the top of this to complete the second half of this process, which would be letting it cook like an oven. So it's 12:44. We got a couple hours of me actively maintaining. This is actually my first real burn. Okay, so we got a really good fire going on the side there, so I can start loading that up soon, because all this stuff is pre-dried wood by leaving it in the barrel and then leaving it out to season in the summer. Because my lid, you know, it's not going to have a perfect seal because I didn't put a clamp on it or anything, or any sort of putty or whatever to make an airtight seal. So the wood left in there for a summer is going to be bone dry, or a lot more dry than if it wasn't. So then this wood is good to go, but I don't want to add a lot of the wood from the dead woods from the surrounding forest, because you put the fire out too fast if you load up too much wet wood on top, because it'll squelch it, because you know it'll start to light, but then when the moisture starts to evaporate, so this needs more now, so we can see a lot of ash there, so it's burning down to the wood. So I'll do that now while I'm commentating. And this is easy as this, like if you have a pre-charged fire and you just drop the wood on, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of smoke, but you're utilizing the reaction that's going on to deal with the water. Like obviously this would be more efficient, though that's I'm pausing because that's a technical term. It'd be more efficient for me to dry the wood, so to speak, like the barrel, because then you would get a faster combustion. But you know, I don't get any yield from what I've been doing, so this is like my real first burn. So we are more efficient by simply doing than worrying about opportunity costs at this point. I can feel it. Let's talk about the heat. So back here I feel warm. I feel warm this far away from the fire. So I'm imagining that the gases or any of the heat, it's getting lost to the sheer volume of the bowl that Earth is, or whatever. Some sticks aren't going to cut it. I should have probably threw that in the other one. But we need some thicker logs that would start to really keep this going the way I want it to. These thicker logs here are going to have a lot more moisture because it's deadwood sitting on the ground, going through the morning dew cycles and stuff. But that's also going to be a way for me to control the size of the fire, because the moisture is going to keep the fire from getting too crazy, though it's going to be smoky. And the other thing I'm worried about is somebody seeing the smoke and calling the fire department, but I guess we'll see. I mean, there's at least a quarter mile between every house in here. So I feel like by the time the smoke was within sight of anyone else, it would just be residual. Let's go back and check the other fire quick. And I want to put this on a phone stand. That was the other thing I was going to say before I got distracted. I want to really put this on a phone stand so that I can just walk around and work and narrate as I go. I feel like that'd be a really cool way to capture all the work I do and make it very easy for me to spread my knowledge, to like open source everything I'm going through. Though there is the creator trap, this whole experience I've been going on with content creation of me thinking that my stuff's not too good because, well, I don't, but then a lot of people say like, wow, what is this crap, you know, because I feel like this is very niche, but still, doesn't matter. I mean, what matters? But we're trucking along. This is really cool. This is like my first podcast, bro. I don't think I'm doing a very good cameraman job here, but I'm doing a million jobs at once right now. Narrating, dictating, recording, and maintaining this fire. This is about all I can do. Cool. So we have a lot more expansion of this fire. I think we're going to be pretty good soon to add wet wood to that flame. Whoop, whoop. So another thing I want to note, if I stop getting smoke in my eyes, is that I don't like when the wood sticks out higher than the flame, because when it burns up, then the flame will be taller. And I just feel like that gives the flame more reach to burn uncontrollably. But it's wet, and the bottom will burn hopefully and drop that wood down. And it also creates an issue because, so this is small, I'm gonna put it in the other one. It creates an issue too, slightly, I feel, because sorry, one sec. Creates an issue too that I can't just quickly snuff the fire out if it starts to grow beyond a size that I am. Hear the crackling? That's the explosions of gas in the, what is it called, lignin, cellulose, whatever. The wood fiber is expanding and crackling because the gases are trying to escape within the fibers of the biomass. Based. So yeah, just looking at the entire forest here. This is at my will, or you know, my mom's will, but she gave me, my mom says I'm cool, but she gave me full authority to act as I see fit, as long as I do it procedurally, incrementally, where, like, you know, I'm removing deadwood. And what's a better way to remove deadwood than to convert it into charcoal so we can use it to turn this place, hopefully, something resembling the Amazon rainforest in a couple generations. That's my dream, among other things. But charcoal is pretty dang good, like one of the best stores of value that I know of. I feel, just because of its inherent intrinsic value, to be able to produce work, regardless if people's opinions of it are worthless or not. So arbitration aside, arbitrary aside, like, it has a, I mean, all things do, like, this wood has its own chemical makeup, which gives it inherent intrinsic qualities that do stuff. But charcoal is a more purified form of, it's, you know, it's isolating one of those properties to condense it into carbon, which has more predictable qualities or whatever. But frankly, just its ability, with all the science stuff aside, that I'm not, like, I'm a high school dropout, so I can't really lecture in a congruent way that would make sense and not be all over the place. Carbon effectively got us from the Stone Age to the Steel Age. I mean, it made us survive the Stone Age, so it's pretty freaking sweet. Pretty freaking sweet, dude. Sawdust. Here's another fun fact. When I was researching what to do with, like, wood, like dead wood like this, I'm gonna make some press board and some primitive paper or something like that. Press board, like wood fiber. What was it? Like a primitive cardboard, or a handmade DIY cardboard, so that I could reduce costs for my eBay endeavors, resale, whatever you want to call it. Just cost reduction all around, and just, you know, turn my labor into actual dollars back to just increase my dollars per hour. Yeah. So I guess one question that's popping up in my head is, like, why not just chainsaw and use these things? I feel like this is more utilizable as a like, you get the most value out of this through cost reduction of the home bill, because my mom uses a wood burning stove, really high efficiency furnace, so that's why. And the dead wood's got to get cleaned up, so why not make use of the cleaning process by trying to capture some value from it and conduct these experiments, if you want to get a little bit more abstract. Pretty sweet. Maybe I'll upload this to my main YouTube channel or something, just to give some motherfuckers something to watch, brother. That's getting pretty nice. I think I can start layering on bigger pieces of wetwood on the top. But yeah, effectively, we're looking at burning for another hour, hour 15, like a active burn. Oh man, it's too wet to put out the fire. But there's a lot of heat in those coals down there, so I'm sure once it gases off the water, we'll see a big flare up, which is pretty cool. Like Freeze's brother. Whatever. Random notes. Going to YouTube's actually really, really efficient where this whole recording process too. I want to talk about that a second. Because you just simply upload it to YouTube. It's like cloud storage for your video, as long as obviously like YouTube remains a business and you don't become like a major political figure that's pressured by political factions to get negated by the solemn judgment of the YouTube or the private business authority or whatever, you know, like rights stop at businesses or whatever, I don't care, whatever. I don't know why I decided to try to use political jargon there. Just forget all that. I'm not a part of any political affiliation. I'm just trying to live my life. The political party I belong to is Charcoal. Charcoal is based, and it is one of the keys of freedom, and that's American. Yeah. Wow, you can't really see it, but we got straight char on the bottom there with a little of the surface level ash. I just hope that, well, we have the primary burn, and obviously pyrolysis is not going to complete through that in and of itself, but we'll have the secondary cool down, and it's still midday, so it'll be done. So it'll be cooling down at a slowed rate because we're in the afternoon, early afternoon, and we'll have till late afternoon, 4 or 5 p.m. before the sun starts going down and really dropping the temperature. So we'll get a lot of time at a higher temperature, I'm guessing, through the experiments I did in my yard under extreme duress, because the DA of our town lives right across the street from me, and she sits on the porch and watches me work in the yard all the time. Oh gosh, she fucking, whatever, no offense, whatever. I'm sure she's a fine lady, but you know, just when you feel like the cop, even when you didn't do nothing wrong and the cop stops you, man, you feel like you're in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it felt. And like, after that pressured me to do research about if what I was doing was legal or not, and you could argue both ways, but there's a case to be made that what I was doing was not legal, even though technically I feel like it was. I would just rather not deal with that, and coming out here with this property zoned agricultural and the exemptions of the law in my area, wood burning facilities, which this technically would fall under, would be exempt because all of the biomass to maintain or progress agricultural, I put so much wet wood in there now, it's all smoke. Trying to talk this much while breathing a bunch of smoke in is really rough, but just trust me, bro. No, don't just trust me. I gotta say it so that it reinforces in my mind that I know what I'm talking about. Deep in understanding, insight, etc. It's gotta, to be exempt as a wood burning facility, you know, to not need a permit, and whoever comes out to give the permit, it has to be biomass that's produced on property, so nothing can be brought in. I can't go get pallets from a factory, which would be overpowered. Which, well, you know, if this scales, then we'll cross that bridge. But I digress. Has to be in pursuing, I believe, it was agriculture and then some other term. These are my fidget spinners, my channel locks. Anyway, pretty much like, because all the biomass, you know, cleaning property of dead wood does fall under agricultural use, because let's say I was going to plant crops here, I would need to remove this dead wood, so then I'm exempt to burn the wood on my own property, but I'm responsible for the safety measures that are we putting in place. So that's where we can get in a little bit of trouble, but I feel like a one-timer. Oh, the smoke's coming off this top one here, so it's getting to the temperature where it's gassing off all the, it's starting to, I'm gonna guess that's just water vapor, But eventually that'll turn into, well, actually the flame, you can't really see it, but the smoke kind of looks yellow. So that's telling me it's more of the wood vinegars and the other stuff. But we'll know for sure if that ever catches flame, because it'll be like a propane torch eventually. And if it doesn't light on fire, 2 reasons: it doesn't have an active flame touching it, or there's too much water vapor or other non-combustible particulates in the, I don't know if particulates is the correct word to refer to gas, but whatever, whatever, I'm just gonna say it, lack of a better term. Stuff and things. There's too much water in the wood vapor to combust. But it looks kind of yellow to me, so it's starting to look like it's going to be a big old torch, I'm guessing. I don't know, I was a little foolish to think, because the reason what prompted me to even come out here in the first place is I had an order for 20 pounds of pound jar. And I was like, oh shit, I only have like 5. So I got to get going. I'm like, do you want any specifics? Dude's like, I prefer hardwood. So that's why I had to come out here, because all of the biomass that's at my house that I use to experiment is a mixture between hard and softwood and brushwood and invasives and all that other shit. Even just straight brush, because of the different invasive weeds that grow everywhere. Like one really interesting one that's been popping up in my property is that's a clean burn, baby. Is Japanese knotweed, one of the most aggressive plants in the world, because its only predator lives in wherever it's native. I'm gonna assume Japan, but that plant, or that's not a solution to the Japanese knotweed, because that beetle or something like that doesn't have a natural predator in America either. So we're kind of stuck with it. But Japanese knotweed produces biomass at like, during the summertime, I've seen it grow 6 inches in one day. So it has huge potential capabilities for an infinite source of plant biomass, which has a lot of other implications, which I don't know to all of them. The ones that pops out of my head is more charcoal. Its properties, it's not dense. It's like a bamboo. And that wind's really making this nerve-wracking, so I'll keep talking because that's what I do to calm my nerves. But so it's like a bamboo, but it's like a bamboo would be like a tree, so like an oak tree, and then you have your shrub trees, you know what I mean, and the bush layer. So there's like the smaller tree layer if you're looking at permaculture type stuff, apple tree, lemon tree, whatever, you know, you got the layers of the forest. And the Japanese knotweed would be a bush layer, effectively. So it's not a tree, it's like a bamboo bush. But it still grows aggressively. It only has about a 70% moisture content when I dried it out, but I only did a sample of like maybe 5 pieces. So it's probably not a perfect average, but around 70% moisture content is pretty good. And it's structurally, like, I feel like there's a lot of manufacturing implications with it. I wish I had some here so I could talk about that, but whatever. It's a cool plant, but it'll destroy your house. Like in certain countries, if you have Japanese knotweed found on your property, banks won't give you a mortgage because the stuff is so aggressive, because it's not just like a tree with like, or that's not a tree, like an oak tree, you know, has like one set of roots, you know, whatever, and then those roots, you know, grow out, and then it's just one plant, and then it drops other plants, and then they grow that way. It's a colony plant. So it's so aggressive too, because it also does have seeds. It has a seeding season so that it can like drop new colonies in other places. But the stuff, if you Google this, Japanese knotweed roots, it is looking at, like, to me it was like terrifying, because it's like, that thing's alive, it has a drive, a purpose to do something, and one of it is just aggressive, explosive growth that will go right through your foundation in your house, like through modern concrete and shit. So it's like terrifying to think about that. Oh, right. Speaking of its roots, it's also a reverse tretol, whatever. There's some chemical that's in like grapes or wine or whatever that have like anti-cancer properties. That, oh, what a clean burn, baby. Yeah, it's burning the sticks up, but I just whiffed in a big, oh my God, that burns. Oh, Anti-cancer properties, reverse. I don't know how it's pronounced. To me, it's like reverse it all. That's kind of what I've been calling it, reverse it all, because that's like when I was reading the studies they've been doing on it. It like cured eczema, tumors, cancer growth, whatever. Did all that. Like it was like a cure-all type drug. But I mean, like most, that will make anybody skeptical because there's a catch with everything. But it seemed to have a lot of promising properties to it. But that it's very uncommon because it's in grapes and wine and stuff. And obviously, if you drink wine, you're gonna kill your liver. But maybe wine will keep your liver alive because of the reverse it all. But jokes aside, man, that's a clean burn. When it rolls like that, that's how you know it's just gas. Or for me, that's what I think is happening. Because like the flame is rolling and it doesn't seem to be attached to any piece of wood. So that's how I know I got a clean burn going on. I was worried about maybe residual paint being on this barrel, because this inner barrel was a, what was it? I'd walk down it, all my other barrels are over there. I'd walk down, but it was like a paint thinner. I don't know, I think it was from a mechanic shop, some sort of grease or some shit. So I thought that was gonna like mess up the burn. But now that I've been burning this long, we got a nice charred layer here. If you whiff it, there's no oily smell. So I'm pretty sure that this batch, whatever is created in there, this one was going to be, my intention here was to make this a cleaning burn, and then this was going to be a production burn because this one's already treated by burning through fire. So all of these have gone through fires before, so there won't be many residuals in there that would make the biochar poison to your garden. But I'm pretty sure like the oil products that go in those barrels, like the paint and stuff, will all burn off clean. And if we just keep the fire going, there's not going to be anything residually left. But I will let my boy know that that is the case, and I will keep it separated in case he has a problem with that, just to make sure I ensure a good product quality. But yeah, so even from the last clean burn, as you can see here, this is what I was talking about, you can still get char out of it, because this is just, if I kept doing this and sifted out all of the ash, well, that's a wood chunk, but still, you have like the smaller bits and pieces, whatever, you have that clean char. You just have ash on there too, but I would just grind and sift, and then most of the ash content would be removed. Plus also, having ash in your biochar, in my opinion, isn't going to cause too much of an issue, because the ash is full of all those micronutrients that like the electrolytes that plants crave, like Gatorade and stuff. But yeah, brother, 28-minute rant. This is fucking sweet. I gotta do this every time I come out. Just another piece of content for me to produce. Poorly at first, but over time, incremental improvements. Whew. And at the very least, I'll have just the transcript to generate notes to write about further, continue research. So at the very least, this is highly productive for me in my own endeavors, but potentially, I don't know, entertaining or whatever, people, interesting. I don't know. We have a lot of smoke here, so I think I put too much wet wood on, because the fire that is down beneath doesn't have a rocket ship, what is that called? Rocket stove type lid sitting in the middle of it. Though maybe I could do that right now. Let's see. Oh, that's a little warm. If I slam that right there, let us see if that turns into a wind catch. It kind of does, because it looks like the smoke's pluming out this side. It looks like the wind is hitting here and then just slamming down. But I mean, this angle is kind of poor, but I just YOLO'd this right now. Obviously, you just watch me do it live. Oh my gosh, that's going to burn my hands. And now I just bent the lid, so now it's not going to be as good. But you want a little bit of air exhaustion, because you don't want pressure to build up when you're cooking, because that'll just explode. So maybe the bends in the lid will play to my advantage here. Whew, what we got going on? Clean burn. See, the flame is on the stick now, so we're burning. We're oxidizing there. It's combustion, not pyrolysis. Pyrolysis, I'll never know how to say that. I've only mostly read about this stuff. Nobody really talks about this that I've found. So I don't have the correct words. So maybe the one random charcoal Jesus out there is LOLing at me super hard, but we'll never know. Or maybe we will. Oh, it's really annoying. Whatever. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. I'll stomp it, duh. trying to do too many things at the same time, so my brain's fragmenting. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt too. That's oak, baby. Plow it in there. Start processing this pile so that I actually get rid of the actual fire risk that's sitting right in front of my face. If the heat traveled to this wood or something, I don't know. This is the fuel to... If that caught fire randomly, we'd have a big problem. Bigger problem. But yeah, man. I don't think there's really much else going on in my head. I kind of wanted to keep this going until the burn was over, but I'd have to go for another 52 minutes. And I only have 15 more minutes on the hard drive anyway. But maybe that'll be my goal then. Let's do that. Just run it to the end. Oh my God. And if this does go on YouTube, and I know I'm going to get comments saying, you could do this, you know, you get all the experts, and there's a lot of helpful people, but I know. I just inhaled a bunch of gas, or smoke. I know there's something I could be doing better. That's all I'm going to say, I guess. There's always something I can be doing better. And you don't need to remind, well, reminding me is good, I guess. Don't be too cynical about that. It's just between the nice people who have nice things to say and the mean people who have mean things to say, it's usually the mean ones who get the most attention. So I get a lot of comments. Not on this channel, my main one for a video game, but still. I know, buddy. I could be doing something better right now. I could be, I know. I could be picking up 3 sticks instead of 2, or 4 sticks instead of 3. And if I picked up 4, I could pick up 5, but then 3 is actually better because the reason that person would say it is. And that may be true or not true, but then that's better than this, and that's not, whatever. So pretty much what I've learned from my entire YouTube creator experience is that you're never right, whatever. Nobody's right, but that's the main issue. But the creator's always wrong, no matter what. Oh man, let's see. Yeah, we got a freaking live efficiency upgrade to the fucking retort system. We just turbocharged this fire. Oh God, I wanted you to get a good shot. Just got lung cancer and emphysema for you. But man, we just did it. We did it. That's crazy. Such a simple concept. Wow. Look at the smoke roll on the right side, like a wave, and it's sucking down to the bottom. I wonder where it's going. Is it pluming out the other side? Yeah. Looks like it is a little bit. Or maybe those are gases too, so when it's rolling down, that, because I was like, why is it not coming out here as thick? Or maybe the wind's coming in this side now, but what I was thinking is, like, maybe if there's volatiles there, if it rolls and then re-enters the flame, maybe the gases are getting burned, and then all that comes out more, giving us a cleaner burn of just water vapor and CO2, instead of like methane and the other types of gases that release from a wood fire. But that was just super interesting. I'm really glad I stayed. I kept the camera on for that. Oof. Yeah. Is that mostly ash now? I'm gonna be pissed. Nah, I shouldn't be pissed. Okay, so we have a lot of ash-covered charcoal lumps there, and I don't want that grass in there because you just saw what happened. It just torched up the heat of the barrel. We're starting to reach the ground. The grass is very, very wet. The soil is completely, it's mud. So I think we'll be okay, but I can hear it sizzling. We can see it start to smoke there a little bit too. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that for sure. I got bottles of water in my backpack too, probably like 10. So that'll be a good way to mitigate this too. Any continuous heat expansion or whatever you'd call it, whatever's going on. I don't have a lot of good words, but I got a lot of words. May not have a lot of good ones, but I got a lot. Yeah. Oh God. Somebody come out and be my cameraman. Or we'll do a burn podcast. Joe Rogan, fly out here and do this. Have your podcast out in my mom's woods. Oh God. And then bring Jamie so that we have a cameraman, so I don't have to do the one-man band bazinga or whatever. This is some nice, that's actually pretty dry. Oh geez, Lewis. Ah. Dude, I think the heat's making my camera lag, dude. That's crazy. I never even thought about that. I should feel it. Yeah, it's pretty warm. I should probably stop sticking my lens right over the flame. The more you know. The more you learn, you adventure, you discover. Yeah, dude, that lid. So I don't know. This was like up here, so I could not put the lid on. But now I'm in a position I can put the lid on and quench this whenever I want. So I think now, because we have about 45 minutes and only about 10 minutes left on this video, I should really try to pack it full of charge. And this one too, we just got to get this fire going good. Nice to get it burned nice and hot so that we see. Yeah, we have a lot of heat here. See how it changes the rust? The rust, that's cold. When it turns black, we have a lot of heat. And as you can see here, it's a lot more mud. Or that kind of shows. It's so dark. Our soil's really sandy, so if it's dark, I feel like it's really, really wet. Or I could just feel it and tell you. Yeah, it's really wet and really sandy. So I think we'll be fine. I mean, I know we have like, all this brush is like dead. So if this dries out, that will just combust. So it's kind of, maybe that's what I should do, is get like a stick and start just scraping that shit away. Yeah, fire, bro. Smokey the Bear is probably really upset with me right now. That's kind of a shovel. Oh, God, it's gonna be hot. Or, do I have sand pit near me? Ah, no. If I had a shovel on hand, I could just start scooping up sand and then just covering it up. Just act as like a thermal mass to absorb the heat and radiate it. But then also suppress any combustion happening underneath it. That would be smart. Smarter. Crap. Yeah, I gotta cut that tree on our woodshed there. Whatever. YOLO, I guess. I mean, like, no, that's straight mud under there. I think we're fine. It's straight mud. But I'll just scrape it away. Why not? Might as well. Shovel, though. A shovel would be nice. Or I could take a stick and hammer it, because that would be an impact. An impact would be a lot more destructive. This is a solid piece. I might be able to just like scrape it up. Instead of like relying on my wrist, I can use momentum here. Yeah, it's a lot better. I can just hammer this crap away. Anything helps, just turn the soil over. Oh, now I'm really gonna be out of breath. But you're gonna be impressed with how much I still talk, even though I'm really tired. And yes, again, just in case, I know there's probably something better I could be doing. I know. There's always something better, unless there's not. And actually, location, I was thinking about that earlier today. Like right there would be perfect, because if we come over here, about right here would be the zone. I'd probably knock those two, just because, whatever. Maybe I'll leave them. But then standing here, we have about 50-foot clearance, and every tree that's here is dead, so that's coming down anyway, so then that would just be more room. So like even those three, which is why I thought this was okay, because those are deadwood. Big dead. Got the oak wilt. And putting them, knocking them, and getting their wood in the fire to convert to charcoal, I think, and I could be wrong, probably wrong, that'll help the oak wilt, if these died of oak wilt, at this location at least. But anyway, that would be a better location right there, because we're further away from these trees. And whatever. I could also just knock those, and just make this a primary like charcoal zone. I'm like whipping my camera everywhere. But yeah, you get the vision. I get the vision. There's a picture in my head. Maybe I didn't tell you about it very good, but there's a plan. There's always a plan. There's always a direction. Smoke. And like, yeah, I would want to go out here like at least this far, and just put sand down. But I feel like how long it took for this to even heat up, because this is the main combustion is happening on the inside. I feel like that the heat is taking the path of least resistance, so then that's kind of mitigating how much heat actually comes down. Like prior to that other design I was talking about, which is what I was kind of going to go for, they drill holes in the side so that you have air inlets and they can just hammer in there. And then, you know, that's really good. You get more oxygen, so then you get a more efficient barrel fire. But what I'm worried about, like primarily right now until I get more experience, is safety. So in this system, it was kind of just an accident, but it's working really nice. And yeah, that char, we got a nice clean burn in there. Like the char, like I said, more ash, whatever. It may not be a perfect product, but there is charcoal being made in there. So I am getting some work done. And that's the main objective, is just get a yield. I just got to get that 20 pounds. The fire's slowly traveling around. These are some thicker logs too, so I think maybe one side's hotter than the other one. For sure. See, this backside isn't even starting on fire, so that should be my goal, to get that lit up in the next 40 minutes. So I think I just need to dump more fuel on the active fire there and get that burning nice and hot, so that we just get a complete burn started, so at least when I put the lid on, we have a high temperature to start from before the clock runs down and reduces the temperature and stops the the process. But yeah. So yeah, like 3 minutes? I don't know. I feel like this is really cool. I mean, I got a lot of notes, like dictated notes, whatever, regardless. Like, again, saying this to convince myself, I guess, but I got a lot of dictated notes could provide me a lot more nodes to write about research papers, essays, books, and just create more content, more structured content. So this is really cool. I'm really glad I did this. And one of the main issues I have when I come out to my mom's is that I want to talk to my brothers and my mom and have the conversation. And I realized I was just getting that juice right now because I do feel like I'm talking to someone, and that's what the brain trick is for me. Oh man, I'm gonna be tired. A lot of CO2. I don't know how much monoxide I got. Well, I didn't stick my face in there to breathe it. That's what I used to do when I was experimenting. I'd stick my face in there and then be tired for like 2-3 days, probably mild carbon monoxide poisoning or whatever. But just being around smoky fires does reduce my energy levels for the next couple days. Man, that fucking rolling flame, baby. That's some good shit. That's some good shit. Man, you imagine somebody's out in the woods, like out here hunting, and they're like, who the fuck is that weirdo down there? Being weird as heck. He's not even wearing orange. He might be a deer. Just take a shot. But yeah, like, this is awesome. Like, normally, I don't know, I hate silence. I mean, I don't, but like, life's a lot better. Like, one of my favorite things to do in the world is talk to people. So just feeling like I'm talking to somebody right now, even if it's future me, makes this like 100 times more pleasurable for myself. And I don't think I'm gonna cut the woods or the weeds back on this one because it is, I don't think it'll, this one's obviously multitudes hotter than this one. And this one will be at a higher temperature than this one will probably get before I'm done. So I think that'll be safe just for today. And especially if I get the transcript, pump it into an AI and say, hey, what are the safety recommendations? What's a safety checklist for the next time I head out? And then ChatGPT can give me a quick list of, this is gonna take, whatever, it'll be good. ChatGPT can give me a list of things to bring out so I can just have a checklist and then just like, so I don't have to remember everything. Just remember, check the checklist instead of the 20 items that are gonna be on it that I need for my next production cycle. So yeah, that'll be really good. Okay, I need a whiff to make sure this is, smells clean. I don't smell any oily. I don't smell any paint. I don't smell anything astringent. I believe that's the word. So I think this may be slightly compromised feeds or biochar, but I think that's a low probability. I believe that. And definitely the next burn will be more, well, definitely safe for gardening. But even if it is and he doesn't want it, like charcoal, man, he's foraged with it and shit. Oh, 26 seconds. So, what have we learned today? a lot of stuff. I hope you learned that I can talk a lot, really, about whatever. This is a really cool experiment, and I'm glad I got this on video. This is amazing. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. I still have 8 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, goodbye.